Hey friends, welcome back to Jason Unleashed. Happy Friday. It is your favorite host ever, Jason Carter. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited for my guest this evening. You know her, I know her, we love her, you love her. It is Manila Luzon of Rupaul'S Drag Race, Season 3 and All Stars 1 and 4. As a matter of fact, she's already in the chat, so let's bring her in. Technology. Guys, like my shirt? Snatch Game, yes, Drag Race is all new tonight. Manila!
Hi!
Hey!
Hey, Jason.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'm at home in quarantine as per usual.
Isn't it funny how that's like the new conversation now? I'm in quarantine as is the rest of humanity.
It's actually so much fun because everyone in the whole world is kind of on the same break. So
Right.
You don't feel so bad because you almost feel like, okay, we're all on a timeout and we get to like actually take some time for ourselves, which is
Right.
very rare these days, especially for some of us.
Yeah, 100%. It's like where it's it's not. It doesn't feel so intentional. It's like everyone's just in the same boat. It's like alone together is the hashtag that's going around, of course, and it's truly that we are alone together. But how have you been doing in quarantine? What have you been up to?
Well, quarantine was fun. I just been sitting around watching Netflix, you know, making a dent in my brand new sofa that I just bought.
Love it, love it.
Trying out new recipes at home. But otherwise, yeah, I've been taking the time for myself to finally like clean up my drag room. I've gotten to like wash a lot of my wigs. I've organized like entire like everything in my drag room has been like organized, put away finally, because girl, I've been doing this for since you.
Right,
You
over
were on the show.
over a decade. I know.
It's
Well,
like
let's
10
talk
years.
about that. Manila, okay, season 3 is when we came into the drag race universe, right? And again, thank you for making that experience for me so awesome because it was so fun. It was so new for both of us. And looking back on that, I was so grateful I got to work with you, Alexis Mateo, Raja, Shangela. It was such an awesome time. So thank you for sharing that with me. That was incredible.
Of course. It was such a unique experience because like we really didn't have an idea. I think nowadays we have like these expectations of what we were expecting from Drag Race. But back then we had no idea. And I'm so happy to see that you've continued. Like you're like OG.
I mean, I need a pension from World of Wonder. That should be getting like a retirement.
Yeah, right? Because you've been on every season since season 3.
Since season 3. But I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right that back then in 2010, Drag Race was still something that was new and on the upswing and it was fresh. I mean, it's still fresh and new now because every year it gets better and better, but it wasn't the pop culture phenomenon that it for sure is now. And I mean, for yourself though, we've seen, you talk about me growing, you've grown. Hello, 1.4 million followers on Instagram. So people today were like, oh, you got Manila on, oh, I can't miss it, you better save the story. But your drag, you have been one of the most creative and innovative drag queens on the show. And it seems like your creativity knows no bounds. It's like a bottomless well of just one amazing look, one creative endeavor after another. How do you keep reinventing yourself?
I just try to stay inspired and always think of, I'm always thinking of like fun ways to turn something monotonous into something glamorous through my drag. It's been really, really therapeutic. You know, I've always wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a painter. I wanted to be an illustrator. I was a graphic designer. I worked as a graphic designer in New York City for a long time before Drag Race. And then I found out that drag was such an amazing way for me to have a creative outlet that was my own. And then I went on Drag Race and it became something that I could make into a career, which I wasn't doing before because, like, mind you, before Drag Race, you really had to work your ass off to become a successful working drag queen, especially in New York City because, you know, rent is so high, the cost of living is so high. So it was something that I stayed away from until I got onto RuPaul's Drag Race and realized the opportunity that I had, and to, you know, make it a business and continue to expand that business as much as I possibly can. And it was super helpful because every year Drag Race has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And every year it, even if I'm not on the show, it garners me more fans, because if a viewer watches season, you know, 10 or 11 or 12, and they're like, you know what, I'm really having fun, let me just go back and start from the beginning. And then, you know, I have brand new fans all around the world. So that's really cool.
I mean, and it speaks to really your just how much of an impact you made on the show, because I mean, over 100 and some queens have sashayed into the workroom, and
Yeah.
there's every year there's a new bunch. It's like the business in LA. Everyone wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be a star. A bus drops off 20 new people that are even more talented than the last. So it's kind of hard to stand out now. But even, I mean, look, we're seeing you do stuff for the Trolls movie, which is a great commercial on VH1. They're still recognizing that you are one of the greats from the show. I mean, the response from the fans for you. Are there times when it's so mind blowing to where you're even like, how is this happening? Like, what? How is this my life?
All the time. It's constant. It's always a constant reminder of the fans. The fans now play such an important role in how I, you know, how I do my drag, because before it was like, oh, just do whatever you think looks good on you. Then it was like, oh, do whatever you can to, you know, impress the judges on Drag Race. And then once that show's over, it's like, okay, now I have my fan base. Now what do I do for them? Because, you know, like once you're on a, like when you're on a reality TV competition show, like that's the only time you really get, or you're guaranteed at least. So what you do with it afterwards really helps a lot after the fact, because, you know, everyone's going to, you know, get the next, you know, group of girls, and the next season,
Right.
next season. It's hard to like make sure that you that they remember who you are. So
Like,
I'm super lucky that the fans have been always so supportive over all of these years. And it also helps that RuPaul keeps asking me to come back for All Stars. I mean, that is like the biggest blessing ever, because this last All Stars was amazing. It was huge, and Drag Race is bigger than ever. And so when I got to go back, and it was on VH1, because
right.
the first seasons of season 3 and All Stars were played on Logo Network, which we love Logo. But it was really nice that the show was able to move and go to and elevate to an even bigger network, sister network. And it increased the audience considerably. And not to even mention, like on Netflix and, you know, Amazon Prime all around the world, it just becomes so big. Like everyone is super excited about it. And I was so lucky to be able to go back and reintroduce myself to people that, you know, might have forgotten about me, or to people that just became fans and had no idea about me in season 3.
Well, season 3, I mean, you were definitely you were top 3 season 3, and then you had
Top two.
Sorry.
The last time we had a top 2.
Right. Sorry. So sorry. I should know that. Who am I? Phil. But we had the first season of All Stars, which was something new, and a lot of the fans felt like you didn't have a fair shot that season. You come back and smash it in season 4. Let's go back to when you got on the show the first time, because I've never had this conversation with you. Getting that phone call, I look up, I admire you, I admire the art of drag, one, because people need to realize that it is that it's an art form. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, but what you guys do to create a persona, to execute that persona, all the looks, and also be talented, be able to sing, dance, act, write, create. That's not, you guys are mutants. That's not something that everyday people do, you know? So you getting on the show, the call, 2010, what happened? What was that like? Where were you? What were you eating? I know you probably you weren't in Minneapolis. You weren't in Minnesota, were you?
No, I was already in New York City. I had been living in New York City for several years by that point. The call was really, really exciting. Now, mind you, the audition process is complicated, and I believe it's even more complicated now. But they do a series of interviews, phone interviews, and you know, background checks, etc. Um, so I had a good feeling that, you know, I was going to get the call. So when it finally did happen, it was like, it was really, really exciting. But for me, mostly, I remember it just being like okay, let's for sure put this into full 100%. Like, this is all we're doing from now on. Because when they tell you, you literally have like less than 2 weeks. And they give you, and like when they tell you, then that's when they finally give you the list of the things that you will possibly need. Not even like you will need this. It was like you might want to bring these outfits. So
Yeah.
it was a scramble, bitch, because like they didn't give you no time. Like once you, because they weren't going to release the, you know, the runway themes until you were in fact like guaranteed to be on the show. So like it was a scramble, that's for damn sure.
But with that, though, I mean, again, it goes back to the creativity of 2 weeks and the looks you turned that season. I remember the Sesame Street look and just Tweaker and everything was just, it was so executed. In the comments below, people are like, Manila, your fashion's on point, but your execution on Drag Race is on point as well. Do you credit that to your background in design and fashion?
Well, it definitely plays a part in it because I know one of the reasons why it sticks out, and this is, you know, it's like me just kind of like relying on what I've learned from working in marketing and advertising and and packaging and whatever. It is a package. So of course, like the first thing I wanted people to do was to notice me, and I chose bright colors so I would pop off the runway. I decided to mix ideas, like taking my pineapple and mixing it with a beautiful silhouette of a gown and making up the pineapple gown. And I was relying on a lot of stuff that people already, I rely a lot on like stuff that people already are familiar with. So I have a spaghetti dress. Everyone knows spaghetti, but no one really thinks, oh, spaghetti is something fashionable. So I like to take something that everyone already has like a happy place in their heart about it, and then I make it into a dress, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait, oh my gosh, I've never even thought about making a pasta dinner into a piece of, you know, garment or a drag or a performance. So I mean, that's something that I really like to do with my drag. And I think that it's really helpful because people are making associations, drawing on nostalgia, and they, I mean, they remember it a lot more than just say like, oh, Manila was wearing that yellow dress. No, it's Manila was wearing that Big Bird dress, you
Right,
know?
right. In the comments, someone had just said icon, and that was something that was going through my head as well because in the '90s we had the iconic supermodels, right? Cindy, Naomi, Linda, Claudia. Um,
All the divas coming
but
out.
in Drag Race, we have those same icons as well, and you are one of them. And with the current state of drag now, 10 years later, when you look back at how far it's come, what do you think? How do you feel about the evolution? And how do you feel that it has been elevated? Do you feel like social media and all these quick and easy ways to be present and available to people that weren't around 10 years ago have given people maybe an excuse to be lazy and not really be as present in their art form because of the success and the notoriety they get from Instagram that validates them as a queen versus the aesthetic and the artistry of drag? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I feel like everyone does drag for their own reasons. You know what I mean? And a lot of people do drag because nowadays because they've seen what the success of what's come from the RuPaul's Drag Race girls, and that's a really great way to be like, yeah, I actually can do this because it doesn't really it right opens up the minds of a lot of people that might not really consider it before. You know what I mean? Like, say you're like an actor and you're a gay actor and you're just sick of auditioning to be the dancer in the chorus. You know what I mean? Or just like, you know, something. But with drag, you can create whatever you want. So it really, I think it impacts it in a positive way. I think that it makes people more comfortable with exploring how they express themselves and promote themselves. And look, there's always going to be always a new batch of baby drag queens like erupting up, and it really it's the time and the amount of effort and energy and money that these queens and artists put into their thing, and time will definitely show like which of those queens will rise to the top, and
Right.
which queens will like, oh yeah, that was cute for Halloween, you know, like, oh, I look sickening, that's a great, but then they like transform and they become, you know, they learn from it and then move on to the next thing. So there's
Right.
always a whole new batch of queens. So it is a kind of exciting to see how many different iterations and versions of drag there is now.
Right. And it seems like you before it was, oh, you're a fishy queen, you're a campy queen, you're this queen, but now it's just it's almost like bears, otters, twinks, daddies. There's all these subcultures
Yeah.
of drag. But Manila, you've solidified yourself as drag royalty. You have solidified yourself in herstory. Do you sometimes still feel competition with other drag queens? Does that exist? Because I mean, everyone's out here trying to get the coin, right? But
Yeah.
are there times where you're like, damn, she's turning it, or do you wrestle with insecurity in your art form?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every single, and it's kind of like how I went back when I went back to All Stars 4. Like, I had done that already. I had done everything already. You know what I mean? So we all had been through it, but I had come back already. You know what I mean? So I saw each of my competitors as equal competitors. It's weird when like Pheromone walks up to you and says, hey girl, like here's a picture of me when you were at Pride, in Indiana, and here's me, I don't know where she's from. Here's me and you, a picture of you and you. And she's like greasy, she's got like, like a shitty wig on, and she's got like her eyelashes are crooked. But then it's like, no, but she is now looking fishy as fuck. She's gorgeous, she's a talented drag queen, she's proven herself, and she is my equal at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is something that I always think about, but it is something that I like because it always keeps me trying to strive for more. I'm never feeling like, okay, this is how I'm going to do drag from now on. I've seen that happen to some queens, like, okay, this is how I do drag, and this is now the only way I know how to do drag, and I'm not able to really adapt. And that's like death,
Yeah.
Like, you
Right.
always have to be being inspired to do better than these other bitches,
Right. True. Well, you have this. I mean, I've been able to work with you on projects, and you have this incredible work ethic. And you really, when we did what did we work on last together? It was the Marvin the Martian for video. What was that for again?
I was doing Battle of the Seasons.
Right.
I did a tour of that, and I did. I had a Marvin the Martian look that I had created, and it came with like all these extra accessories. And I was like, I'm gonna have you just modeling. Yeah, and it was like the backdrops for my live performances. So it was like Jason
and putting that together.
Green, Gladiator, Alien. Oh yeah, it was fun. It was still one of my favorite performances ever. And it is like one of my things. It's like I love cartoon characters and things from my childhood, and then making it into a glamorous performance. And it's really cool to thank you for helping me like make that vision come to life, to like glamorize and
your ethic. I mean, working with you on that, I got to see how your process and how you make things happen, and how things are very organized, and there's no the business side of it. And when you go onto your social media, and what we've seen over the last 10 years, Manila, it's never ending for you, from music to, I mean, you have everything you put out is well done. As I said earlier, well executed. That ethic, who instilled that in you? Where does that come from? Because you don't see that often with a lot of things. Where does that work ethic come from?
I think it really comes from just my upbringing. Like, it doesn't even matter really what job I have. All of my shitty jobs that I had growing up when I was a kid, when I was putting myself through college and stuff like that, like, those were all jobs that I fucking hated, but I worked the best I could. I took it seriously as much as I possibly could, because, I mean, My mother's an immigrant. She moved to the States from the Philippines, and she came here to work, to get education, to work. And that was instilled in me from early on. You know, like when I turned 15, or my grandfather came over to my house during the summer and he says, "Hey, jump in the car. We're going to go find you jobs. We're going to go get you job applications." So, I mean, the first place I went to was Burger King. I put in an application, they hired me, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm working at Burger King. And bitch, I made the best G-damn Whoppers you can imagine. Because, I mean, that's my job. It's like,
Right.
what can I want to put 100% of myself into what I do. And it doesn't really feel, I don't feel good when I do something that I view as mediocre.
Yeah.
Which is really hard because, you know, especially now, because I'm trying to do like this glamorous drag and I'm sitting in my living room.
But it shows.
I'm waiting for the applause and there's silence. The little hearts that stream up on the side.
I know. No, the hearts are going, girl. The hearts are going. But it shows in your work, and you have revealed a lot from to the public. It's not so much personal things, but just seeing your relationship with your husband, Michael, and the different layers we see you. We see you in and out of drag. We see you cosplay. We see you doing dramatic. Like, there's just so many layers to Manila Luzon. And it just seems like it just keeps coming and coming and coming. Do you ever feel, and I personally don't feel like you overshare. As a matter of fact, your Instagrams and your social media is some of my favorite because it's so artistic, but yet it's so relatable and so accessible. But are there times where you feel being as popular as you are, that you give too much to your fans, that you share too much, and is there something that you hold for yourself, just for you, and that's dear to your heart?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I've felt a lot of it, especially this last year, because it's the broadest audience that I've had so far in my career after being on All Stars. And yeah, I always, like, going on the show, I'm not an actor. No one's writing the lines for me. No one's, like, supplying my costume. No one's directing me. I'm just being myself, and I'm just trying to show myself in the way that I want to be shown. But yeah, I definitely do, like, I do have a very, very private side. And, you know, the trouble is that, like, you're trying to find the balance between, like, how much you let people in and how much you keep to yourself. Now that the audience is there and they've watched me and I've shared my stories and they feel like they get to know me, it's something that I've agreed to share with people. Mm-hmm. So I have thoughts that run through my head that I just will go on my Twitter and I'll be like, I'm gonna say this. So this is like an off-color funny thing that I find humorous, and I have to stop myself, like, are people gonna get this or whatever? Are people gonna, like, are they gonna, like, start, you know, a Reddit page because you're reading one of your sisters? So I do have to, like, pull back, and it's important to keep a little bit of something for yourself, especially in this day and age when people are oversharing, people are vague booking, you know, they just want to write something down, or they want to, like, go on a rant or something like that. It's something that I have to, like, stop myself a lot from, especially with my, like, personal life, my friends, my family. It's, you know, of course I want to, like, you know, show off like all the things I'm super proud of, but, like, you know, I don't want to put my sister's kids, you know, on my social media. They're only 4, like, they don't need to be, like, exposed to that. My sister doesn't need to be tagged in things. She doesn't need the fandom going after her. My mom and people like parents, you know, it's weird. Like, especially when I was starting my relationship with my husband, I kept that very private because I had just lost Sahara, and, like, I was dealing with the death of my former boyfriend, also while starting to get serious with a new one. I didn't really know how the fans were going to think because, you know, the fans are like, oh no, you were with Sahara, so you can't be with anyone else. And so I kept that very, like, to myself for a long time. And then it wasn't until really recently, when I finally decided to propose and we got married, that I was much more open about it.
And that blossomed and bloomed before our eyes because even I had met your husband at TJ Maxx in Sherman Oaks. I always run into you at TJ Maxx in Sherman Oaks. I'm like, no, what's up?
They got the best deals, girl. They got the best deals.
I know. You never know what you're going to find.
Never.
And you know, you introduced me to him and we talked. It was really cool. And then, you know, months later, I think it was 2017, you guys got married. And he's just all over your social media. And it was so beautiful to see that because it wasn't one of those things where, you know, some people, I don't know, it felt so, of course it's natural because you guys are together, but it was just beautiful and fun to watch. And again, the fans knew what you had gone through with losing Sahara, and they mourned that with you. And it was nice to see Manila happy. Not saying that you weren't happy, but it was just a whole new chapter that you turned and started writing with Michael. And how's life now with you guys in quarantine? Is he cooking as well?
What?
Is he cooking too?
Oh, he's cooking. That's why we're getting we're getting that quarantine layer, honey. You know, we're all gonna come out of here like, I mean, thank God the meat industry has to like close down the shops because we have to, something has to stop us from eating all this time.
I know. For real.
Yeah, it's like literally like we wake up and we're like, what's for dinner? Well, can we figure out what's for breakfast first?
Me and Munchkin, my husband, he's upstairs right now. That's the first. It's either like, babe, I'm gonna go walk the dog. What do you want for lunch? And it's only 7 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel it.
It's the only thing you can look forward to at this point. It's this like beautiful thing, and it's really fun. Like especially on quarantine when there's nothing else to do. Like this is the time to like really draw out the experience of cooking and eating into making it an event.
Right.
Because now it's literally the only thing, and you know. So I mean, Michael and I are really having a great time taking turns cooking for each other and, you know, just eating.
I love it. Me and my husband, we have date night in the kitchen. Yeah, and it's cute. I look forward to it. It's cute. Our dog comes and kicks in. We have Taco Tuesday or Taco Thursday or Taco whatever day it is. And we watch, I don't know, something on Amazon and we make cookies and have dinner. I enjoy it.
Oh, you make cookies too?
Oh yeah, we make.
Oh my gosh, Michael! Yeah, yesterday Michael like took out cookie dough from the freezer because he had made a big batch, and then he like put some in the freezer. And he took it out of the freezer, and I was like, we have to let those thaw before we can put them in the oven. So we didn't get cookies last night. So hopefully today.
We make the cookies and eat the cookies then. There's nothing's going back in the freezer.
See what we do is we make a batch of cookies. And then we like make them into the little balls and then we put them away. And then we make them per order. So it's like a fresh cooked cookie.
Okay.
Hot from the oven. You get 2. That's it. You know, we got to ration our foods, baby. We got to ration our foods. Because I will eat the whole damn thing. I won't even wait for it to like get in the oven. I'll just eat the cookie dough raw. I don't even care. But we've been rationing things. That's the secret that we've been you know, we've been spreading around is like ration things. Ration your food. You know, like make a big old dinner and then like split it up.
Yeah.
We ration our Netflix shows.
Yeah. Because there's nothing worse than when you found something you like making the cut on Amazon. We're all about that, right? And it was like 3 shows, right? That's it.
That's it. Yeah, and
you're so into it, and there's nothing else to do. So like, it passes the time. You don't want to wait till Friday for another one.
Well, see, and those are like the kinds of shows that do come out. Like they add episodes each week. But like, say, like on Netflix, where they just drop an entire season and it's like 10 episodes, you blast through that. Like when we watched Tiger King, yeah, we blasted through that whole thing, and then we're like, okay, well, now what we're gonna watch. Right. So then. Self-Made with Octavia Spencer. It was only 4. It's like a limited series, but it's only 4 episodes long. And I was like, well, this is like, I'm going to watch this in one day. It was really good. So when the first episode ended, I was like, I turned it off and I said, we're going to watch this over the next 4 days. So it gave us something to look forward to. Because it is really hard to find like that perfect show that you both like want to like binge watch.
And then you get so into it that it's like I said, it's escapism. But what I am binge watching on your IGTV is Inspire Me.
Shot right here.
So cool. How did you come up with that? Why did you come up with that? Congratulations, it's great. But what was the catalyst for creating that?
Well, I have been so lucky that I have been gifted fan art when I go out on my travels, and when fans give me something that they've actually spent time to make in my likeness, I really appreciate that. And I haven't thrown out a single piece of artwork or letter that someone's given me. I put it in, there's a pocket in my drag suitcase, and it just fills up. And then when I come back from tour, I like empty it and I archive it away. I started framing my favorite pieces and then hanging them on the wall in my drag room, but then I ran out of wall. So I've been collecting all this stuff, and then my husband Michael said, we should make a show about you talking about some of these pieces of artwork, so that we can, just kind of show the appreciation to your fans. And I think what he was trying to do was trying to get me to throw away the artwork after, like, it's already been documented and archived in this YouTube series, Inspire Me. But no, I just put them back. I can't throw it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's made with love.
It is made in love, and it's like something that, like, I mean, some of my fans are extremely talented. Like, I'm awed by some of these likenesses of me, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to look just like me, but I do see the style of it. I've actually seen some fans' artwork progress over the years, and it inspires me. And sometimes I even get some good ideas from my fans. They're like, "Oh, here's a dress idea that I think you'd look perfect in." I'm like, actually, that's a really good idea. I might steal that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I love the fans, and so it's been a joy to kind of like, do a little web series here. I'm not even in drag. I mean, I don't even put on a wig for it. So it's just nice to kind of like go through this artwork, and it's just kind of therapeutic to see how much these fans have supported me.
Yeah, I must feel amazing. Looking back on your career and looking back on your time on Drag Race and just everything you've done, do you have any regrets?
Probably, but none that stick out. None that are always like, oh, if I could do it all over again, I'll totally do it. No, but I mean, I honestly feel like sometimes the fans get way more into it than I do, Like, yeah. As you know, like, Jason, you are always going to be associated with the pit crew.
Right.
But it's not the only thing that you do. For you, like, it is just like, okay, maybe a couple months each year, I get to, I have to like do my crunches and make sure my booty look nice in some tight underwear. The bulge is nice. She's all shaven and clean. And I'm all glossed up and looking all chocolate and brown and lovely. But you will know that that's just one gig out of the year. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people forget that this is just one of the gigs that I've done. I've been on, I've made cameos on Top Model, on Real Housewives, General Hospital. I've been in TV commercials. This Drag Race is a really good chunk where you get to see a lot of me, but for me it was just like, it was just like another gig. There's so many more that come from it. So
yeah, it's like part. I always liken things like that to an outfit. Like, socks is 5% of the whole outfit. That's just 5% of who Manila is. But will there ever come a time when you'll hang up your wig, your lace front, and be like, you know what? I'm done.
No. I mean, it might come to a point, and maybe because of this pandemic soon, where it won't be my main source of income. So I might not like fully invest as much into it. But I see this is just something that I love doing, and it's something that I will probably always do and probably always be known for sure. Like, it's just way too fun to do. And unless something prevents me from doing it, like, I don't know, I get into a horrible car accident and like just lose actually, even if I lose my face, I will paint a new one on. I don't even care. I'll be the old bitch that is like, you know, she's hooked up to like a ventilator, oxygen tubes, roll her out on it like her hospice bed, and I'll do a Sleeping Beauty number where I just sleep for 3.5 minutes.
Like in that movie Drop Dead Gorgeous, where they roll out the girl who won the year before. She's like, I'm here.
Yes, that'll be me, fully rhinestone with a blonde streak in my hair, for sure.
The sky's the limit, Manila, and right now we're in a time where things have slowed down, where we're all being able to really just be and stop and just enjoy the moment. When this is done, and when we emerge from this global hibernation, what's next for Manila? Where do you see yourself going? What's on the horizon?
I'm not sure because like I haven't stopped. So Manila just keeps chugging along. It's just in a different version than we're used to. But when we are finally able to like fully get through this and we can like I would love to go back on tour and travel. It's something that I love doing. Ever since I was young, I love the idea of getting to travel. I feel like I learn so much as a person when I get to visit new places and taste their foods and hear the language and learn about the culture. It just really like educates me on, you know, just how I live my life, because, you know, like it makes you appreciate things in different ways. So I love touring, and I can't wait to tour again. Yeah. But yeah, I'm working on, I'm coming up with ideas of all the time. Me and my husband are just always jotting down ideas, brainstorming things that we can do, especially now because drag is changing. You know, it's very adaptable. That's the one thing that's good about it, is that, you know, like a movie star is screwed if she can't make movies. You know, but nothing's gonna stop a drag queen from, like, you know, gripping this pillow, making it into a headdress, or making an outfit out of a set of curtains. You know, it doesn't matter. The drag queens are gonna do it, and if they have to go out and do a digital show to do their show, like they will do that. So, I mean, there's once this is over, if it ever ends. I mean, the world is on fire. Who knows? This might be the end of days. I can't wait to go back on the road and tour and do live shows again, which is hilarious, especially because right before this quarantine, I was like, oh, I just wish I could stop doing live shows.
Well, they're wanting you to come back to the UK. They're like, Manila, come back to the UK. So
yeah, I want everywhere that I've already been, I want to come back, and everywhere that I haven't been, I want to go.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well,
but only if it's safe for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
Only if it's safe for everyone. But I have I'm working on so many things while I'm here in quarantine. Like, what can you do? I've been doing these shows with Digital Drag Fest online. And that's been kind of successful. It's been kind of interesting. It's weird. It's like takes all the fantasy away from the drag, and it kind of still like remains this, like, you know, it starts to push the fact that the viewers have to use a little bit more imagination now.
Yeah, because it's because you're not serving drag on a platter like, here you go. You know what I mean? It's just like it's so. Let's talk about that very quickly, because that's been the conversation about Digital Drag Fest, and you know they're doing Digital Drag Con.
Yes.
So Digital Drag Fest? Explain that for the audience.
Well, Digital Drag Fest is produced by Producer Entertainment Group with StageIt.com, which is a digital service where you can put on shows and people buy tickets to it, and it's like a live interaction of shows. So I think that's really cool, because it provides a live experience without having to leave your home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is interactive because people can, just like on Instagram Live, like people can comment and interact in that way. So that's kind of cool. And then also people tip us, which is really nice. And we really appreciate that. As drag queens, we love tips. any of my performance is just me collecting tips and being like, thank you, thank you.
But Manila, that has always creeped me out because like money is dirty, and I mean drag queens put it in their mouth, and they no. No. I always thought, like, do they sanitize that before you want to put it in your mouth during a drag? You don't know where that $5 bill's been.
Oh, Jason. Oh, you sweet young thing. You've seen how dirty we drag queens are. You've seen our pantyhose. You've seen our crusty makeup kits.
However,
we have a shield of germs to block new germs from coming in. Like, that's how gross it is.
It just speaks to like you said, if the world was ending, drag queens would find a way to survive. Like in American Horror Story, Apocalypse, where the witches buried themselves in the ground and came back up after the apocalypse. You know, that would be you.
That would be drag queen. Yeah, ain't nothing stopping a drag queen. We'll figure it out. Even if there's no makeup, we will cut our own wrists just so that we can use our blood for lipstick. It doesn't matter. We will do whatever we need to.
Resilience is what I'll say to that. Resilience. Manila, it has been so awesome to talk to you today. Again, you're one of my favorite people. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're busy doing your damn thing in quarantine.
Thank you.
And all the best. Best of luck and continued success. I know this is the dumbest question ever, but where can people find you on social media? Because some people still live under rocks and don't know how to search people on social media.
Well, this is a good place to start. Like right up there is my handle on Instagram, Manila Luzon. But also, you guys check out my YouTube. I have I'm doing little web shows like Inspire Me. I'm working on new music videos that are coming out, which will be super exciting. I can't wait to drop that music video. You know, look at old episodes of Drag Race, girl. Check out season 3, All Stars 1, All Stars 4, and you'll see me.
Boom, Manila. You stay safe. Tell your husband I said hello, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks, Jason.